Hello, everyone. Hello, Nouran. Hello, Lucy. This is Tracy Kautzmann with the Impact Group, and we are continuing our conversation on how important it is to have duty of care for the assignees going on assignment. And today we have lovely Nouran Zaroug with us, the founder and director of New Light, who's going to talk about the topic of DEI with us and duty of care. Nouran, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Lucy. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. Yeah, as mentioned, Nouran Zaroug. I'm a consultant working within the relocation and talent mobility space with a real expertise in D&I. It's a topic that's very close to my heart for sure. So delighted and excited to be shedding some insight into this topic.
Thank you, Nouran. I'm Lucy Foster, also with Impact Group. And without further ado, I think I'd like to kick off by asking you, Nouran, why do you think that D&I is important in the context of duty of care in international assignments?
It's a hugely important topic and vast, really. And I'd just like to intro that the topic around D&I with the fact that it's actually very broad considerations. So diversity, equity, and inclusion. Most of us think of it as a ethnic aspect or skin color, but actually diversity goes far broader into any neurodiverse needs that some of us may have, any disability needs that some of us may have. And we learn a lot about the cost of burnout or brownout on assignment, and ensuring that these aspects are in place or considered before the assignee or the spouse goes on assignment are paramount to the success of the overall assignment. Additionally, there is evidence to suggest that having diverse international assignees actually brings huge rewards in the terms of innovation, and are more likely to bring back more creative ideas and solutions once the assignment's over. So beyond just the financial benefits that come from it, we all know that we are responsible for these individuals when they're out into international locations. And sometimes it can be as simple as a conversation with the assignee and their spouse before they go on. And absolutely, with the talent shortage that we're hearing about now, bringing in more diverse communities onto these assignments will really bulk up your talent in the most fabulous way.
A quick question, when you're talking about that diverse population, can you give us examples above and beyond what the typical ones we think of are?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, diversity means so many things, and that's kind of the beauty of the word. We can look at ethnic diversity, we can look at geographical diversity, we can look at gender diversity. We know there are gender discrepancies on international populations with various different organizations and culture. Neurodiversity is a very extensive topic that's coming to the fore, where people might have specific needs or requirements around how they do their job or how they perform their job. And we have a responsibility to be flexible around that. We don't see enough international assignees with disabilities, and there's numerous reasons for that. So it really is a broad topic and goes further than I think most of us think of day to day.
I think it's fair to say there's a lot of grey areas around it. A lot of people are very scared of broaching the topic with their clients, scared of saying the wrong thing. How do you make sure that you're being compliant? And so what would your tips and best practices be for us as vendors and suppliers when we're assisting assignees and families with all of the D&I factors? I know that there's a lot to take in, but can you give us a few kind of you, in your experience, your best practices that we could apply?
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be a never-ending list, but to really be succinct, I think first and foremost, have the conversation with the assignee and their spouse. Most people, as you rightly mentioned, are afraid to broach the topic for fear of awkwardness. but that's not how we make progress. We make progress through open dialogue. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Have a conversation with the direct assignee and say, we want you to be successful. What's important to you? What would you like us to put in place? That's first and foremost. Additionally, there are some phenomenal resources out there. I will definitely try to share some with you in terms of best practice and what you can do. Most of the organizations will have diversity policies in place. As a vendor or a supplier for your client, there's no reason why you can't get access to those diversity policies to incorporate them into the work that you do. Additionally, there's some great resources that the EU, the European Commission, have put together around some language around diversity too. And I think it's such a wonderful industry and we work so collaboratively together. So never ever fear that you can't reach out and ask for help or ask for questions.
So well, that you kind of touch on that, and it's really interesting. But is there is the policy wording actually, like being mindful about that policy wording, is that important for companies to take into consideration?
Yeah, that's a brilliant question. And I'm really pleased you brought it up. It's vast. It's so important, actually. Definitely from the I piece, which is around being inclusive and feeling included, and being your authentic self. And the wording around policy, even the wording around gender, needs to be much more broad and generic rather than just the he and she at times. So yeah, there's a lot around wording that needs to be done. I appreciate it can be a little bit overwhelming when you delve into it for the very first time, but even a little bit of knowledge is better than none at all. And there's definitely some resources that you can look through around even just how to put wording together. Interestingly, I think Outlook have just started offering gender specific or support around wording in their emails, which I think is fabulous progress. So yes, there are resources out there. And I think going forward, all policies need to look at being a little bit more inclusive in their language.
Definitely.
Definitely. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Nouran. I mean, there's so much more that we can talk about on this. It's such an important and a huge topic, but thanks for just this little bit of brief insight. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.